as Cecilia said, I am Chris Olson. I'm here because November of last year, I was in a very bad position. I decided to upgrade my education, so I left my job with a plan. Ended up not being able to find a job right away, which sucked. Anyway, speaking with Cecilia, my first day I came in a wreck, and she just sat there and listened and told me that things were going to look up, and I don't think I believed it at that point in time. But I did feel better when I left. She was definitely nice to talk to, and she gave me some information, and I ended up meeting Kim with Tierra Leger, and she got me into the co-op program, which Barry Moss and Tina were great to accept me for it. And I worked my way through there, and actually when I first started it, I was a bit nervous and wasn't doing much. I was more or less watching people. And went to my supervisor, Ken Kordock, and said, look, I want to do some work, but I'm afraid I'm going to screw things up on you, and then you'll have to redo it. He said, don't worry about it. The more you do, the more impressed we'll be. So from that day forth, I worked. It was not a day that went by after that that work wasn't being done, which was a great feeling. Anyway, to my presentation with 401 Electric, thanks to you guys and Tierra Leger. I've never met so many happy people in my life. Yeah, I walk in here, everyone smiles. It's great. I like it. You're so good to talk. Anyway, 401 Electric is where I went. Ken Kordock was my supervisor when I first started, and Mitch Bradley was, well, a supervisor, I guess. Ken Kordock would have been the project manager. We did a job at Bermray, which is my previous employer. So it was quite interesting. It was a chicken barn. It's something brand new to me. I was only ever used to residential electricity, so moving forth into the construction area was different. I worked construction in my earlier years, I guess I can say, but nothing like this. Everything was obviously 240 volt instead of 120, so again it was a learning curve. Learning the PVC that we ran the wires through, and labeling. That's something that I actually had an issue with at first. I never labeled wires before, and I just ran them and hoped for the best. It always worked out. That's right. So I'm sorry to say that, but that's the way it was before this.
Before market.
Yes, before. Anyway, and following instructions. I just came from a job where I was a supervisor. I was also basically a lead hand on the floor. I knew what I was doing. I was training, so taking orders was something that I wasn't used to. So I had to get back into that again, if you don't mind. These are just some pictures of the job from Bermray. Due to privacy rules, you can't just walk into someone's house and start taking pictures of things that we did. So any of the pictures I have are from one particular job. But this is the sort of things that we're doing, running the PVC, as you can see. The wires would go through, and depending on where they're going or which panel they're coming from, or if it was coming from another switch or receptacle. The bending of it, you don't see any bending in this picture, but it took me a little bit to get used to. Working with hot plastic was interesting. Okay, perfect.
Next one. Yeah. Did you bend that stuff in the corner?
I didn't know, these here already come pre-bent. They're 90-degree turns. I did try making 90-degree turns, but
he's very honest.
it didn't work. Anyway, this kind of stuff I wasn't doing. As a student, I was unable to work inside panels, understandably. Even now, as I have been brought on now for as an apprentice, I'm sure that's going to take a little bit of time. But everything that we worked on was dead. There was no live electricity running through anything, which was great, especially for a guy like me who might end up reaching in. But everyone was so friendly. When I'd start up, when you'd walk on the job site, you could introduce yourself to anyone, and they'd be happy to give you your name back. It was very surprising. Again, I have had jobs before. This is a career, and it's very professional as a career. And because of the professionalism, nobody cared where you came from. There was no judging, unlike jobs. Sometimes that can happen. And it was a very, very great feeling, very unique feeling. If you mind. The lights, I didn't get into these lights, but I did some of the safety lights that were put up. Again, you still don't see any vents. But I did help out with these, which was interesting. Once I got my fall protection, I was able to go up on ladders and start putting some of these lines through. I screwed up. Yeah, I actually made a mistake in another area. I was given a project, and I didn't, and it looked good. Until I stepped down and I realized there was an S all the way through the PVC.
Oh, no.
What I had done is, you can see where these are strapped on to the low point. Well, I was doing it in the middle. I was told every 2 feet have a strap, so that's what I was doing. And yeah, there was an S all the way through. It looked good while I was up on ladder. So when I came down and looked at it from the side, I was like, oh, hell. Well, I go to Ken, my supervisor, who can be very blunt at times. And,
Really direct.
yes, very, yeah. And I went to him, I said, how do you take a look at this? You're not going to like it. He said, don't tell me that. So I bring him over, and he said, well, there's nothing we can do about it now. It ended up looking good. I don't think anyone noticed, hopefully.
Okay. You don't have a picture of it? No?
No, I don't. I do apologize.
I'm not telling anybody.
Maybe I know some people in there. Maybe I can get one. But if we can go to the next one.
Okay.
This particular day, Kim and Tina got to join us at the barn and see just how well everything was going, which was a nice cold day. So I invited them both them both to come out and take a look at what we were about to do, which was wiring these fans, which I actually got to do. Anyway, they didn't really like the idea. It was cold. They just didn't really want to know, which is understandable. They were impressed for it.
We went out.
Yeah, oh yeah, you guys went
out
out.
there for a while and watched. And
Yeah.
kind of, you know.
I think you got used to the cold after a few minutes.
You could have stood probably in the chicken barn next door and watched.
Yeah, we could have brought the car around.
But here's a funny story for you. While doing these, there was a problem. The motors were in reverse, flaring, which is an easy fix. So the three of us right here were going in and taking the shields off, or the grates off, and switching the wires. Well, not this fan, but the one next to it, which isn't there, I did, and the two next to it. Anyway, we went to start up the motors. And now these 3 motors, the ohms were too high. No, the amps, sorry, were too high. So Ken had to figure that out. But the one I did down here shorted, and it started to smoke, which is a bad thing now. And I'm sorry to put it this way, I was pooping my pants. That's exactly what I said to Ken. I was upset. I thought I had destroyed this motor.
Oh, yeah, we were looking at your employment contract.
To find out that it was a wire inside of the motor that had nothing to do with us. So this is from the manufacturer. I had never been so scared in my life. Now we're going to have to replace the motor because I messed it up. Anyway, if you don't mind.
No.
Okay. 401 it's work, yes. You go every day, you're working. But in my past experience with just about every job I've done, which is 3, it's the same thing every single day. Very boring. I did not enjoy it. I had spent approximately 10 years at Brewery Farms. And it was a good job, great company, but the same thing every single day just got monotonous. So coming here, where I think I've had 3 jobs where you're there more than 1 day, is great. Like every single day I'm somewhere new. Today I was actually working in the shop. So every single day is something new. And the people that you can meet from other companies as well, and just to interact. And one big thing that I want to mention, monthly safety meetings, right there. As you can see, that is great. Absolutely great. It is something that I haven't experienced before. I have been on a safety committee. And at my last job, I was representative for most of the committees, and that is something that I've never seen before. And it helps a lot, I think, especially when there are new people involved. It is great. That's pretty well all I can say. After and I had industrial there, and I did get rid of that for mine after I emailed it. The construction electrical, after that I kind of went to residential, where again we're going into people's houses anywhere from replacing the ceiling fan to gutting a house and replacing everything, which actually I just got done with a couple of the guys there. One of them was great because it was actually another student that Kim had a few years ago, so she was glad to hear about that. Anyway, if you don't...
Yeah, nothing next.
Anyway, what's next? Well, right now, I have a job. An apprenticeship, actually. And which means that no more going to the same place, well, I go to the same place, but the same job every single day. I get to learn every single day. I don't think a day's gone by where I haven't learned at least 10 things. I get to go to school 3 times throughout the 5 years. I get to go to school and, again, learn. Even after the apprenticeship's done, after the 5 years, even if I end up going through for my master's, I'll still be learning. It's one of those jobs that I will never stop learning. I don't ever have to go home after work and say, oh, I can't believe I did that again. It's always something different. And it's a dream I've always had. As I've said to Kim and to Tina both, and in my English lessons through going back to TR, electrical is something I've always wanted. Always. Even through high school, I took 4 years of it. 4 semesters of it, sorry. I've absolutely loved it. I am glad things have worked out the way they have. If I do believe, by God, for electrical apprenticeship when I was right out of high school, I would have made a very bad electrician. I was very naive, very young, very wasn't motivated. I didn't have it then.
Okay.
Where now, later in life, I've slowed down. I feel good about it. But for this, that's all I have. But I do have one more story for you.
Okay.
I meant for this to be in the beginning, but I forgot. I wanted to tell you how I started out wanting to be an electrician. When I was about 5 years old, me and my brother got walkie-talkies for Christmas. And I'm in my bedroom, he's in his bedroom, we're playing with them. And I noticed, as I walked across the room, I started getting signals. And couldn't figure out why. Anyway, starting to investigate, I noticed the closer I got to the receptacle with the long metal antenna, I could start picking up odd signals. I could hear other people. It's really weird. Anyway, I wanted to know what it was. I knew if I plugged the cord in there, hey, it turns on. That's all I knew. Well, my mother had these long metal earrings.
Oh, no.
So, oh yes, I grabbed one. I didn't have. So I did. And everything went black, including my fingers. There was welts in my fingers. But it gave me a spark. I wanted to know everything there was to know about it. And growing up out west, it's something that we actually started learning at a very early age. So that's why I've always liked electricity. Anyway, that's my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all have a good long weekend.